Exciting times. Oh my goodness, the PSVR2 is finally out in the wild and we have the first hands-on reactions. We first thought we have to wait for Tokyo Game Show to get the first hands-on, but no, Sony has made an event in London and some lucky ones had the chance to actually try it out. Like, for example, UploadVR, Mike from VROasis, IGN, and a few more. In this video, I'm going to watch their videos together with you for the first time and react to them. Also, I am going to show you, I am going to tell you about the first reaction of my German colleague Jan Keno, who has already tried it, and well, that is going to be really, really exciting. So let's watch it all together. And yeah, all of this goodness is coming up. Yeah, thanks for being back here on the channel. Hit the like and subscribe on your way in if you're excited about virtual reality. And you know what? Let's directly get into it. Let's directly watch the videos. After I've told you about the video of my German colleague from a big magazine here. So his name is Jan Keno. He's a very respected person, and he checked it out in London together with the other guys that you're going to see in the video. And his first reactions were overall very positive. He said like it was the best picture quality for Resident Evil that he played, Resident Evil 8 that he ever seen in VR. The controllers are comfortable. The force feedback on the triggers is amazing and makes the whole thing more immersive. And also the rumble, he actually really, really enjoyed it. But he also had some gripes with the PSVR2. He said that actually for the lenses, it is a step back from PSVR1. You remember, PSVR1 had these aspheric clear lenses with that beautiful sweet spot. But for the PSVR2, he said that, well, because they went back to Fresnel lenses, you remember those lenses with those concentric rings, actually, the sweet spot was kind of small and he first had to find it, right? So that is something to keep in mind. And let's find out if also the other guys and girls who checked it out and who made videos, if they also saw that or not. All right, so let's do it. Let's watch and react to the first video. And the first video that we're going to check out is from UploadVR. I'll try not to speak too much into the video, but, well, if I want to say something, I will, and I will stop the video. So this is a reaction video. If you want to watch those videos without interruption, actually go to UploadVR, go to VROasis, go to IGN, and watch the originals, right? So this is my reaction. First time I'm going to watch them. I am excited to find out what my colleagues are thinking. So let's simply do it, and we're starting with UploadVR.
I just went hands-on with PlayStation VR2. I got to try 4 games: Horizon, Call of the Mountain, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and Resident Evil 8.
Okay, I'm most looking out for Horizon because it looks so good and it's something exclusive, right? So let's do it.
The first thing you'll notice when you put on this headset is the visuals. The lenses are clear throughout your field of view.
Okay, so the lenses are clear. So this is the first thing that is different from my German colleague. Let's see.
A high dynamic range OLED display delivers unrivaled contrast. The true deep blacks mean that in games like The Walking Dead and Resident Evil, it really felt like I was in darkness.
Okay, yeah, that is of course amazing. The OLEDs, right? The real OLED blacks. That is something that I'm also excited about.
The downside of OLED is that there is a visible fixed pattern noise throughout the display, and this can be distracting in some scenes.
Okay, so are we talking about Mura here?
The field of view.
Okay, here's something that we should look at, right? You can really very clearly see that these are Fresnel lenses with those concentric rings, and that is actually what my German colleague said. Yeah, was making that a bit like bad in terms of sweet spot. Let's see what Upload thinks.
It is noticeably wider than the original in headsets like Quest 2, and this really adds to the immersion.
Oh, I didn't get this. Are we talking about FOV here now? So let's go back. Let's go back. I didn't catch this, so probably here.
The field of view is noticeably wider than.
Okay, the field of view is noticeably wider. That is cool. That is cool.
Scenes. The field of view is noticeably wider than the original in headsets like Quest 2, and this really adds to the immersion.
Okay, the field of view is noticeably wider than the predecessor. And the thing is, wow, that's great, because for PSVR1, actually, it already has a very nice FOV. For my eyes, I have 64 millimeters IPD. Actually, the PSVR is already wider than Quest 2. So this having like noticeably more FOV is good news. Okay, let's go for it.
The new haptic capabilities genuinely add to the experience. I could feel the tension in the bowstring as I pulled it back in Horizon Call of the Mountain, and the headset vibration meant that it really felt like I was getting hit by the enemies.
Okay, so the vibration also really a positive thing that Upload remarks here. So this is something that I'm also looking forward to. My German colleague said that it is very subtle. The head thing, it's way more subtle than the rumble in the controllers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to try it out myself.
Unlike the original headset, PlayStation VR2 has onboard cameras for tracking, and they can also be used to see the real world. This is how you set up your play space, and you can activate them when you need them too.
Okay, as we can tell here, and we had this kind of video before, we do have pass-through. However, it seems like we do have just some black and white pass-through here.
The view isn't color, but it is higher resolution than something like Quest 2, so you can actually make out details in your room, and I didn't notice any distortion. My favorite feature of PlayStation VR2 is how it uses the eye tracking to guide you to adjust the lenses perfectly for your interpupillary distance and get the headset properly positioned on your face. This is a really neat trick, and I hope that all consumer headsets with eye tracking copy this idea. The controller tracking quality was flawless throughout my time with PlayStation VR2. The headset tracking.
Okay, great to know that the tracking was flawless here.
It was mostly solid, but it did wobble a bit when I looked up at the bright lights on the ceiling. This probably won't match your home environment though, so I wouldn't worry about this. But a problem I saw in my time with PlayStation VR2 was a constant ghosting or double imaging effect. I'm told this is caused by 60 frames per second rendering being reprojected to 120 Hz. We don't yet know how many games will use that mode, but I hope that most will use the native 90 or 120 because this wasn't visually comfortable.
Okay, that is of course not great that he saw the ghosting problem, and yeah, wow, okay, that's something we have to check out then.
To recap, PlayStation VR2 offers striking visuals and noticeably wider field of view.
Okay, this one I'm actually really excited about, that this noticeably wider FOV, because that was actually not mentioned at all from my German colleague. My German colleague said the FOV is all right, but it didn't feel like it's like bigger or smaller than the current headsets. So UploadVR now talking about a noticeably bigger FOV than PSVR1. That is something to look out for, and yeah, really looking forward to check it out myself.
And immersive haptics. The reprojection issue is disappointing, but this is still the most immersive consumer headset I've tried to date.
Okay, most immersive consumer headset sounds great.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be bringing you more PlayStation VR2 news as Sony gets closer to launch.
All right, All right. Thank you. Thank you for this first hands-on. Thanks for this, very concise and nice video. What I take out from it, they loved it, or he loved it. And the ghosting issue for the 60 hertz mode, something we have to look out for. Bigger FOV, interesting. Let's see what the other hands-on, people said. Like, let's see what Mike says. Let's see what IGN says. And let's see. So here in this UploadVR piece, we did not hear at all about the small sweet spot that my German colleague was talking about, or the lens issues. He just said it's clear. Okay, so that's something that we should absolutely check out. Alrighty, let's watch together the next video. And that should be, yes, it is. That is the IGN one. Let's check it out together now. All right, here we go.
I'm Bo Moore with IGN, and I'm here at PlayStation for the first hands-on with PSVR2. Let's dive in. PlayStation VR2 has a similar headset design to its predecessor, with a band that rests on the crown of your head and hugs the
Okay, that is first of all one thing that I also wanted to talk about for the first video. What was not mentioned at all is the audio. So I must just honestly tell you that in 2022, it would be better to have the audio directly at the device, right? To do something like this, where you have to wear a second headset over your headset, it is just something that is not really super comfortable to do, right? So I think for that part, I would want to mention it when I do my first hands-on sometime in the future. In my opinion, this could have been better. But well, let's keep on watching.
Nape of your neck. This gives it a nice weight distribution that doesn't feel front heavy like some VR headsets. On the back of the band is a button that slides it out when pressed, and there's also a dial that lets you tighten the band further if necessary. There's also a button on the face mask that lets you slide it in or out, making the headset easy to put on and then adjust into a comfortable position. And there's ample room inside to accommodate glasses. Once the headset is on, there's a dial on the top left of the face unit that adjusts the lenses in order to make sure everything's in focus. The OLED panels inside.
That is the IPD adjustment. All right, okay, so that is of course nice that we have IPD adjustment now. And well, since it's Fresnel lenses, probably we do need that IPD adjustment, right? And now we do have two displays, so that is fine.
Side offer a 2000 by 2040 per eye resolution at up to 120 Hz. This is the highest resolution available among the mainstream VR headsets and provided an outstanding level of visual fidelity. I didn't notice the dreaded screen door effect at all during my time with the system.
Okay, that makes sense. We have a resolution that is on par, a little bit less than G2, than the Reverb G2, so it does make sense that the visuals should be really good. Let's keep on watching.
This is further aided by something called foveated rendering, which essentially means that the system uses its built-in eye tracking to increase the resolution of whatever you're looking at. PSVR2 uses 4 cameras built into the headset for inside-out tracking of the controllers and your surroundings. When you first set up your play space, the system will prompt you to slowly look around as it scans the area, including the floor and ceiling, and it designates a safe area for you to play within. From there, you can draw lines on the ground to manually add or subtract from the area, exactly the same as how it's done on Meta's headsets. There's also a button on the bottom right of the headset that activates a pass-through camera, allowing you to see your surroundings and pick up your controllers. Speaking of controllers, their design is relatively similar to those of PC VR headsets. Each has a thumbstick and 2 primary input buttons, as well as a PlayStation and options button on each. For triggers, there's an L2 and R2 on each controller, which are activated by your index fingers and serve as the primary trigger for guns and other handheld devices. R1 and L1, meanwhile, rest underneath your middle and ring fingers and are used to articulate gripping items.
Yes, isn't it nice to have just a normal grip button and not the one from the index controllers? I love that. Yeah, by the way, we are live. I just saw somebody, Priminus, asking if this is pre-recorded. No, this is live. But let's go back to the video.
The controllers also have capacitive capabilities, letting them sense whether or not you're touching the controller, even if you're not pressing a
Okay, capacitive touch, very nice. I just heard this for the first time, actually, that it does have capacitive touch.
button. This is relatively similar to the Valve Index's Knuckles controllers, though I found that the finger tracking was not quite as accurate as Valve's implementation. Valve's controllers also have a strap across the back of your hand that holds the controller in place if you completely open your palm, whereas the PSVR2 controllers require you to at least grip them slightly at all times. This was most noticeable while playing The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, where simply closing my hand wasn't enough to grip a weapon, and instead I had to hold down that L1 or R1 bumper with my middle and ring fingers. The button isn't particularly hard to press, but having to keep pressure on it for an extended period of time, like when you're holding a gun or a knife, started to cause my hand to cramp and tire after playing for more than 20 minutes or so.
Okay, but actually with the Valve Index controller, you have to do that all the time, right? And it's not just one button. You have to grip the whole thing. So, okay, but let's keep on watching.
The controllers also feature the same haptic feedback and adaptive triggers as the PS5's DualSense controller. Unfortunately, neither of these really stood out to me during the game demos that I played.
Okay, that's interesting. So actually, for my German colleague who was checking that out, he really enjoyed those triggers. And I can totally imagine it, because he said, like, when you were playing that Star Wars game and you had that gun, that laser gun, you did feel some force in the beginning, but it wouldn't shoot. It would only shoot when you really did it until the very end. Right, and that was like a very nice feeling. So actually, those force feedback triggers, that is something that I am so much looking forward, because in my book, this is going to make the whole thing way more immersive. But anyways, that's why I'm reacting to videos here now, right?
All of the developers that I talked to mentioned plans for implementing both features in their games, but aside from Horizon Call of the Mountain, they weren't yet present in the demo builds that I played. And then in Horizon, I also didn't particularly notice the triggers doing anything special, but I will say that the section that I played only used the bow and arrow, so I didn't have any other weapons to compare the feeling with.
Interesting, because just now, from the UploadVR video, we heard that exactly in Call of the Mountain, he could feel, right? He could feel that bow when he was using the trigger. So, yeah, probably I have the feeling the UploadVR people really have just more experience in VR as compared to IGN, but that's just my assumption here. Let's keep on watching.
Right on target.
The developers told me that other weapons later in the game would further leverage the triggers, such as a large mounted ballista that would feel heavy to pull. In addition to the controllers, the headset itself also has haptic feedback built in. Again, this was most noticeable for me playing Horizon VR, and I found the feature to be a nice addition to the haptic landscape, though I mostly just noticed it when taking damage or otherwise being tossed around. It wasn't distracting or uncomfortable at all, but I didn't particularly feel like it added a layer of immersion that I couldn't live without. I suppose that, like the DualSense's haptics, its implementation will vary from game to game and will all depend on how much effort the developers put into utilizing it. The headset also doesn't have integrated audio, and instead leaves you to rely on either your TV sound or speaker sound, or a pair of headphones, either connected wirelessly to your PS5 or via 3.5mm headphone jack on the PSVR2 headset.
Okay, that is again the part that I'm not so happy about. I really believe that in 2022 it would be really something that's needed to have these nice sound like we had at the Index, right? For so long. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do let me know in the comment section.
I found this solution to be a bit of a letdown compared to the Valve Index's spatial off-ear audio.
Agreed.
Since it meant that I needed a pair of headphones if I wanted spatial audio. Personally, I felt that the headset and headphones combination to be a bit bulky and cumbersome, and it made it harder to get the PSVR2 into the perfect position in front of my eyes.
Okay, yeah, that's really a problem. Agreed.
PlayStation VR2 thankfully feels like a modern entry into the VR landscape, with top-notch visual fidelity and comfortable ergonomics. Its haptics and adaptive triggers, if implemented well, will be a welcome addition to the immersive experience. As with all new pieces of hardware, the question now falls to whether there will be enough games to make the investment worth it. First-party games like Horizon Call of the Mountain certainly help assuage those fears. And while nothing has been announced yet, I would be shocked if the outstanding Half-Life Alyx didn't also make its way to the platform.
Totally agreed. We need this game, and we need so many more games.
The other key question is price. The original PSVR launched at $399, and considering the hardware on offer here, I wouldn't be surprised to see PSVR2 launch at $499, especially considering the inflation-related price increases that recently hit both the Meta Quest 2 and the PS5 itself in many territories.
I do think that he's right. Honestly speaking, $399 would be fantastic, but yeah, $499 sounds way more probable at this point in time. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down in the comment section. Let's keep on watching.
Still, for PS5 owners who want an easy, that is a non-PC based, way to access a high-end VR experience, PSVR2 is very promising. For more on PSVR2, check out the trailer for the PSVR2 versions of No Man's Sky and Resident Evil Village. And for everything else in the world of games and tech, stick with IGN.
Okay. All right, so this was the IGN piece. Quite positive. Actually, I didn't feel that there's any negative from this video, other than that there is no sound. And I really agree to this point. That is not nice to have to put on the PSVR 2 and then on top another headset if you really want to have fantastic, nice 3D sound, right? So that is definitely something that I would agree to. Again, here we also didn't hear from the small sweet spot problem that my German colleague saw. Probably here because they are not as specialized in VR, IGN, right? Like others are. So that is something to watch out for. But in general, there was a very nice first impressions from IGN, very positive. And yeah, just the one gripe with the audio and, of course, games, right? Where is Half-Life Alyx? Yesterday's state of play was terrible. And again, nothing against Demeo and Star Wars Tales from the Edge of the Galaxy, right? They are great games. Just we have had those games on the Quest 2, and we can play those games on the Quest 2, and we don't need a PS5 to run them, and Demeo looks good on the Quest 2 already, right? So we need those huge games. Anyways, let's keep on watching. Let's keep on watching the next hands-on, and that is from Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis. Really looking forward to find out what he thought about the PSVR 2. So last week, I was
extremely lucky to be invited to an exclusive event at the PlayStation UK office in London to get hands-on, or should I say, face-on, with the upcoming PSVR 2 headset. In this video, I'm excited to be able to share some of my early first impressions trying the new hardware, testing out some of the new features, along with playing 4 VR games that will be launching on PSVR 2 in the future. At this time, we still don't know the price or exactly when this headset is going to launch, other than sometime early next year. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I'll be covering this headset in more detail over the coming months leading up to its release and beyond. So let's get right into it. The PSVR 2 is a huge upgrade over...
Oh yeah, sorry. I just have to look again at those lenses, right? Because they just make me remember the Vive Pro 2. If you look at the Vive Pro 2 lenses, you can also see these Fresnel, these concentric rings, so clearly, right? And you know, the Pro 2, it does have this problem of God rays and small sweet spot. So I really, really hope that this is not the case here. But again, my German colleague, when he put it on, he said, wow, the sweet spot is really small, and he had to fiddle a lot to get it right. But again, we also had other headsets with small sweet spot. You might remember the Samsung Odyssey, right? And the Odyssey Plus. And you also had to find the sweet spot. But when you found it, then the picture quality was just so nice. And because overall then you had a great fit, it was okay. So let's hope it's here the same. And let's find out if Mike also found out this little thing.
upgrade over its predecessor, adopting some of the most cutting-edge technology available right now. It has a resolution of 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye that runs at 90 or 120 Hz with a 110-degree field of view. It simply connects to the front of a PS5 console using a single USB-C cable, and throughout all of my demos I found being tethered wasn't really an issue as the cable is lightweight and pretty long at around 5 meters.
Okay, 5 meters, definitely long enough. Then it's supposed to be like a cable that is not so thick. That is great. 110 degrees FOV, we gotta talk about it. We have to find out, is it like, what kind of 110 FOV? Is it like horizontal? Is it diagonal? What is it? So Upload said it's significantly like wider than the PSVR1. And again, the PSVR1, in my book, with my eyes, it already is bigger than Quest 2. In terms of FOV. So let's find out what Mike has to say, and let's keep on watching the video.
Putting the headset on for the very first time, I was immediately impressed with how the soft rubber face gasket contours to your face, blocking out all the surrounding light so you're completely immersed in the headset.
Okay, that is also, of course, great with the PSVR 1. It was, and still is, one of the most comfortable headsets, and I'm really glad that they didn't change the formula for the PSVR 2, right? So let's keep on watching. And again, also, still, first time that I'm watching all these videos, so I'm also excited to find out their impressions.
The setup process was really intuitive, with a quick play space setup where the headset actually scans your environment to create a safe play space which automatically avoids any furniture and obstacles. Once my IPD was dialed in and the eye tracking was calibrated, it was straight into my first demo, which happened to be Resident Evil Village. It started in this dark and damp cellar, which immediately showed off the headset's high-resolution OLED displays with high dynamic range.
Okay, yeah, that part is so cool. I'm so looking forward to that part, right? You have that high resolution of the Reverb G2, but it's OLED, so you get perfect blacks and shiny colors. Oh yes, give it to me, send it to me, I want it, just like you guys. So that is great that the first impressions also here of Mike are positive and that he points that out. High resolution OLED for the win, Andrew the 5th.
When stepping out into this snowy courtyard from the cellar, the contrast from the dark into the light was really impressive, and I found myself regularly stopping to take in the sheer scale of the looming Castle Dimitrescu.
Yes! I want it! Just like this!
It wasn't long before my sightseeing was interrupted by the rumbling of the headset haptic feedback motor as I was surrounded by flies and knocked to my feet by the 3 daughters. This headset haptic feedback just added an extra layer of immersion to the experience.
Oh no, oh no. You know, I really hate horror games, right? They are, in my book, they're already super immersive enough, even on the PSVR 1. So making it more immersive, oh my god. And on the German stream, I just said, I will play Resident Evil 8 in that. I should not have said it. Anyways, let's keep on watching.
Especially as it was used sparingly throughout the demo just to highlight key moments of imminent danger. Throughout my demo, there were a couple of scenes like this where you, the player, are being pushed around, and during these moments, you're not actually in control of the character's head movement. Personally, I don't mind being thrown around by a tall vampire lady on the weekends, as I'm practically immune to VR motion sickness at this point. However, I do think this experience is going to be really intense for anyone that's new to VR.
And actually, that's a good point. My German colleague, who also checked it out, he mentioned this as well. He said, like, okay, there are 2 games and there is actually no teleport. And, well, you can get this kind of motion sickness problems, like in scenes like this. So actually, he also pointed it out. Yeah, anyways, let's keep on watching.
But that aside, exploring Castle Dimitrescu in VR was great, especially being able to take in all this glorious detail. I was able to find myself a handgun and shoot my way through some enemies, which was really fun, and one cool feature is that you can physically raise your hands by your head to block incoming enemy attacks. My only other gripe, aside from the cutscenes, is that I would have wanted to been able to cup the bottom of the pistol grip with my offhand to stabilize my shots, but maybe this is something that can be added to the game prior to its release sometime next year. Moving on, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is coming to PSVR 2 with this special enhanced edition. Having played the game previously on Quest 2, I was familiar with the world and its characters, but I'd never seen them like this before. The cantina environment, Cecil Slack, the bartender, and Mubo all looked incredible with this high-fidelity experience that really made me feel like I was part of the Star Wars universe. After a short mission briefing, I headed out into the wilds of Batuu to recover some crashed cargo and take on the Gawabian Death Gang. What really impressed me during this demo, aside of course from the amazing visuals, was the implementation of the adaptive triggers on the PSVR 2's Sense controllers.
Yes! Yes! Oh yes, exactly. That's what I just told you. My German colleague also said, especially for this game, and glad that Mike also had the same feeling. So let's keep on watching.
There were a variety of weapons at my disposal throughout the demo, but with the adaptive triggers, each weapon had a different level of resistance on their trigger pull, and this made every weapon I encountered feel unique to fire. It was a small detail, but it was something I noticed straight away, and it just added something special to the experience.
That is exactly what I'm expecting as well. Like, I love this feature on the PS5, and in my book that makes the PS5 special, this adaptive trigger. But to have this in VR, right, when you even don't see the controller, but you see your weapon, and then you feel that different resistance for the different games, yes. Let's keep on watching.
Whilst on the subject of the controllers, it was in this demo that I could really put the headset's inside-out tracking to the test. The PSVR 2 uses 4 tracking cameras located on the headset's front plate to track the headset and the controller's movements. When using two-handed weapons in the demo, like the shotgun and the rifle, I naturally held the controllers out in front of one another to aim down the sights. Now, this movement can be troublesome with other VR headsets, but the PSVR 2 handled this just fine without any loss of tracking. Despite having already played the game before on Quest 2, I got completely immersed in the experience once again, and before I knew it, to my great disappointment, my time in Batuu was up. So moving on, it was time to try something much darker and scarier, as next up was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. If you saw my Gamescom VR Roundup video last week, you'll know that this is one of my highlights from the show, and it's a title I'm extremely excited about. Before jumping into the game though, I found myself struggling to find the correct orientation of the controllers to put them on correctly due to the way that they're designed. Thankfully,
that is exactly what my German colleague also said. Like, he said, like, the controllers feel great once you hold them in your hands, but to get into them, it was a little bit of a struggle first, and the 4 hours that they actually had with those controllers, it was not enough time to get this kind of muscle memory to simply slip into them. But he said, like, again, once you're in them, you're good.
The developers were on hand and kindly pointed out that you can just push the function button on the bottom of the headset to activate a pass-through mode, and this allowed me to clearly see the controllers and put them on properly. The pass-through mode is in black and white, but it's very sharp and clear, and it's going to be a really useful feature to quickly be able to see your surroundings or to be able to have a quick conversation with someone without the need of taking the headset off.
Just seeing here that, hi Sherzod Khan City, UploadVR said they saw a ghosting effect. Yes, we have just talked about it when we watched the upload video.
Back to the game though, one thing I love about this sequel and the original game of course, is the characters you encounter throughout the experience. They always have a story to tell which does a great job of setting the tone and drawing you into this dark and gritty world. As the name suggests, your actions, whether being a saint or a sinner, can directly influence the outcome of the game, so you'll have to choose wisely. In the demo, I headed out into the walker-infested streets of New Orleans during the dead of the night on a mission to find a preacher who's causing a stir and deliver him a warning.
These dark games, right, they are just perfect for these OLED blacks. You want to have these OLED blacks and then some popping colors. Oh my god. I so want this. Let's keep on watching.
What really struck me was just how dark the game was at night thanks to the OLED displays with high dynamic range. Instead of being a wash of grey like I'm used to with other headsets, the sky was jet black, and I really struggled to see what was going on in the darkness without lighting the way with my torch.
Jet black. I like that. I'm going to use that in the future too. jet black.
As expected, things got out of hand really quickly, and I was lucky I was wearing my brown trousers on the day, so I didn't embarrass myself in front of the developers. Dispatching hordes of the undead was crazy fun with a huge variety of weaponry, including this incredibly satisfying chainsaw. And last but by no means least, I got to play Horizon Call of the Mountain.
This is what I'm so looking forward to, you know, this exclusive game, this unbelievably colorful world, using the PSVR with all these adaptive trigger stuff. Oh my goodness, give it to me. Now, please. Let's keep on watching.
At this point in the day, I'd been inside the PSVR2 headset for over 3 hours, and I'm pleased to report that the head strap was really comfortable and well balanced on my bold little head. The only gripe I had with comfort was that I have a low IPD of around 62mm, which caused the lenses to sit quite close to the bridge of my nose.
Okay, got it. So that was very close because of his IPD. And here again, you see it, right? You see those Fresnel rings so clearly, just like on my Vive Pro 2. My Vive Pro 2, it just looks the same, right? For you guys who have the Vive Pro 2, yeah, it is a good headset, but the small sweet spot and those glare problems do make it like not so enjoyable like other headsets. And again, this does look like it. Check this out, right? So we really want to know more about the sweet spot and the glare. So let's keep on watching.
Causing a little discomfort. This is something that I'll have to play around with once I have more time with the device, but it's just something I thought was worth mentioning. But back to the game, I have to say, this one completely blew me away. I remember seeing the trailer when the game was originally announced and thinking it looked incredible, but it actually looks even better in
Oh yes, so looking forward to this. Hi Skiva.
the headset. The introduction to Call of the Mountain is hands down one of the best I've ever experienced in a VR game. The storytelling, the visuals, the scale, the action, everything combined just throws you right into the world of Horizon that many of us know and love. Having a Stormbird swoop down above your head and taking in the sheer scale of a tall neck during this introduction was truly breathtaking. I won't go into any more detail.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. Check this out. I want to play this now. Oh, those guys were so lucky.
As you really should experience this one for yourself. A bit later on, I was right in the thick of it, taking on machines with my trusty bow. The combat felt great with the adaptive triggers providing tension when pulling back on the bowstring, and
Okay, you see, that's exactly what we saw. Like the IGN guy, the IGN video, he was just saying like, oh, couldn't feel anything, but here now, VR professionals like Upload and Mike, they directly felt it. They directly felt it when they're using the bow, right? So this is going to make it just so much more immersive. And don't we want that? Yes. So let's keep on watching this.
soon enough, I was nailing those precision shots with great satisfaction. In between the bouts of action, I found myself exploring the gorgeous environment. There's also these awesome climbing sections which serve well to break up the gameplay, and looking down during these sections really gave me this fantastic knee-trembling sense of vertigo.
Oh, do you see how that looks? This waterfalls? Are you kidding me?
I should mention that this isn't just a 20-minute tech demo like many thought it would be. I've been told by the game's developers that this will take most players around 7 to 8 hours to complete. And I can completely understand why, as during the demo I found myself stopping just to take in the extremely impressive surroundings.
Oh my god, check out the waterfall there. Yeah, check out the water. Oh my god. Oh. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Can you?
Search each part of the environment to find collectibles. According to the developers, this level of detail and fidelity is only possible by leveraging the eye tracking technology in the PSVR2 headset to enable dynamic foveated rendering. Now this works by only rendering the image at maximum resolution exactly where your eyes are looking in real time, and then reducing the image quality on the outside of your peripheral vision. This saves on system performance, as it doesn't have to render the full image across the whole display. And the best part is, the eye tracking works.
This is just the only thing, right? It looks so glary. It looks so glary. Oh.
So well, you don't even notice this working. It really is some next level VR wizardry. To round up this demo, I faced a Thunderjaw in an epic showdown, and I just can't articulate just how intimidating this machine is in VR. The sheer
Oh my, it looks just like it could probably even like rattle on the Half-Life Alyx throne. Yeah, the graphics, they look so unbelievably good. And then just imagine this with those popping OLED colors, that high resolution, the adaptive trigger. I must say, this is most probably the most wished for game for me. What are your thoughts on this? Do let me know in the comment section. Let's keep on watching this.
The scale of this thing is insane, and my heart was racing throughout this fight, and it took everything I had learned throughout the demo to eventually take this beast down. I can tell you now, this game will be a system seller, and already, in my opinion, just from this short demo, is a must-buy title if you're looking at getting a PSVR 2 in the future. So after all the demos were done, I took some time to reflect on the day and my experiences. And I'm
Oh yeah. I would also reflect on the day.
Over the moon to see PlayStation put such a lot of time and effort into making the best VR headset they possibly can, and really leveraging their strengths in the gaming industry by bringing these high-quality games to virtual reality. The closest comparison to the quality of the VR experience provided by the PSVR 2 is that of a high-end gaming PC. But PSVR 2 content will have the added benefit of being highly optimized for a single system, and also leveraging the use of eye tracking to push the quality even further with dynamic foveated rendering. This is something we've just not seen on the PC side yet. This, of course, is without even mentioning some of the other unique PSVR 2 features, such as the headset haptics, HDR displays, and the awesome adaptive triggers on the Sense controllers. The lineup of content for PSVR 2 is already looking good from what I played at the event, but we also know that No Man's Sky and a new Firewall game called Firewall Ultra will be coming to PSVR 2 next year. I still have my fingers crossed for a VR mode for Gran Turismo and an all-new Astrobot game, but sadly the team at PlayStation wouldn't give anything away at the event. If
Give us Half-Life Alyx.
PlayStation can maintain momentum with regular quality releases post-launch, then it will become the destination for gamers looking for the most compelling VR gaming experience, as quality content has been sorely lacking on both PC and Quest this year. Overall, I left the event thoroughly impressed with what I saw, and it makes me extremely excited for the future of PlayStation VR 2. So that's a wrap on my time at the PlayStation event in London. As a huge PlayStation fan, the whole experience was a real dream come true for me, and I'll be forever grateful to the team at PlayStation for this incredible opportunity to try the hardware early. There's so much more I could talk about in this video, such as the 3D audio, the lens design, the haptics, the finger detection with the capacitive touch sensors on the controllers, and much, much more, but I'll save all those juicy details for a more in-depth video in the future. If you have any burning questions though, please just drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Also, please feel free to let me know what you think of the PSVR 2 headset, and which of the games I played are you personally most excited for. I'm super intrigued. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a little like if you're as hyped as I am. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to see all my future PSVR 2 content. And as always, I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers.
Okay, there was Mike's video. And again, if you want to watch all these videos without me talking into them, simply watch the originals at their channels. And yeah, do leave them a comment and a like for sure for giving us these first impressions, which I thought are really exciting. So here we have it, the first hands-on experiences. Overall, what I take from this, positive. Everyone who tried it out really enjoyed it. They all think it is a fantastic system. They had a fantastic time with it. They said they loved the high-resolution HDR OLED screens, right? As in super deep blacks, very, very nice colors, of course, high dynamic range, great resolution, most beautiful things they have ever seen in a commercial VR headset. However, I must say probably they didn't check out the Vario Aero because, well, it is also very high resolution and looks incredible with clear lenses, right? So probably they didn't think about the Vario Aero here, but, well, it is way, way more expensive than the PSVR obviously is going to be. Right, other than that, all of them very much enjoyed the triggers, the controllers, and the force feedback. That is something that I am so much looking forward to, right? Because it is going to make things more immersive. I love it on my PlayStation 5 when I use a gun and I can feel it feels different than the other gun simply because of the added force, of the added resistance. And to have that in VR, it is great. Also, what we heard from the controllers in general, they feel good, they feel very comfortable. However, we also heard that you do have to kind of hold them all the time, and something where you can strap them on would have been preferred by one of those first hands-on reviewers, but overall it was very positive. What I also heard from these first impressions, that it seems like not to be so easy to get into them, to get into the controllers. Like once you have them in your hands, it's great, but first of all, when you try to get them on, probably you already have the headset on, and then you try to find the right one, probably you will be mistaken and get the wrong one. We simply need some more time with it. That's for sure. Yeah, in terms of FOV, we didn't hear a lot now from Mike. We only saw that 110 degrees. We didn't hear anything in the IGN hands-on, but we did hear from UploadVR. We did hear that it was said that, hey, this is significantly more FOV than the PSVR 1 had. And again, that is what I'm super excited about, because PSVR 1 already, for my eyes, for my 64mm IPD eyes, it already has like a really nice FOV, even bigger than the Quest 2 or the HP Reverb G2. And the PSVR 2 having a significantly, or noticeably, I think he said noticeably bigger FOV than the PSVR 1. Woo! I am so looking forward to that. Yeah, other than that, we heard about the rumble, the face rumble, something that is completely new. And Mike liked it. Also, the German reviewer that I didn't show you here, he also enjoyed it. Yeah, that is something to add on. The German reviewer said that it's like very subtle, and he didn't feel it at first, like consciously, but then later in some other experiences, he could feel it. So that is definitely a plus. Other than that, what we didn't hear now from anyone of the videos that we saw right now, but that the German reviewer pointed out very clearly, was that the German reviewer felt that the sweet spot is very small, something that we have, for example, in the Vive Pro 2, and that he had to fiddle with the headset in order to find it, and that the lenses are a clear step back from the PSVR 1, which had aspheric lenses, the clear lenses. And that is something that we will have to have a look out for, right? Because also when we looked at the lenses and we saw the lenses quite close now, it did look very similar to what we have with Vive Pro 2, right? Where we have this small sweet spot and quite a bit of glare. So this is something that we should look out for. Anyways, but it seemed like not to be an issue for those three now that we watched. Interestingly, UploadVR, David saw some, he saw ghosting in 60 Hertz mode. That is also something that we have to look out for. But in general, overall, very, very positive hands-on, very, very positive first reactions that make me very, very hopeful. So I believe that is going to be like mind-blowing to have this high resolution with that real OLED blacks that we seldom have now with VR headsets, right? With a high dynamic range, then even a bigger then even a bigger FOV, that adaptive trigger, and then something like Horizon Zero Dawn. Wow, yes, give it to me. So overall, after having watched those first impressions, I'm fired up. I want to have it. I want to play these games. I can't wait to have my first hands-on with the device as well. And yeah, the launch of this cannot come too early. So I will cover the PSVR2 heavily here on the channel together with my colleagues. We will obviously check out the hardware like always on MRTV, but we're also going to check out the games, and we will heavily cover PSVR2. So if you are probably a developer out there developing something for PSVR2, do get in touch with me. MRTV is going to jump on it, and we will cover PSVR2 extensively, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward for that to happen. Oh yes, a pure gaming platform. Isn't that nice? Yeah, other than that, is there anything else that we could get from this? Anything that probably you guys saw from those videos? Anything that particularly stood out for you in those videos? Please do let me know in the comment section, or even right now here in the comments. Right? Would be really interesting to check it out. And Frank says, can't wait till you're hands-on for us. Frank, I also can't wait. I really, really can't wait. So, well, Sony, I'm 1 hour away from London, right? So we could make that happen. Yeah, right. So exciting to have those hands-on here first now from these creators and from all the people who are out there. I think there's even some more videos out there that I am going to check out. And yeah, wow, I can't wait. I can't wait to check it out myself and to let you know everything about the FOV, about the lenses, how they compare to the rest. Yeah, the tracking seemed to be fine. That's what everyone said. And I also want to check out the ghosting that was mentioned in the upload video. So lots of exciting things that are going to happen. Of course, I will also bring you all the reviews of all the other headsets, of the Pico 4 that is going to come up soon, of the Quest Pro, of course. Everything. I'm going to bring it to you. And wow, it's so much hardware. I'm so happy because, the last couple of months it was a bit boring. I went into summer break because nothing was happening, right? Honestly speaking, nothing was happening. But now I'm back, and you're going to see a whole lot from me. So if you want to see all my reviews, if you want to see all that games in action, and if you have not done so yet, absolutely subscribe to this channel now. You're getting independent reviews of all the hardware and software, and we're going to have a great time together. So if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel, click on the bell button, and yeah, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to chat with me, and if you want to chat with the community about the PSVR2 or any of the other headsets or VR in general, go to the MRTV Discord server. I am there waiting for you, and the link also down in the description of this video. Yeah, now I want to say goodbye to you, goodbye to Slady, goodbye to Andrew, Aria, Stu, Original Athletes, Loose Reviews, Ben S. Oh, Ben S, any info on Pimax new headsets? That is something that should be coming soon. And for that, I can only say, dear Pimax, dear Kevin, talk with me again. Talk with me about the Pimax Crystal. I am ready to go hands-on. I'm out of my summer break. I'm ready to check out the Crystal and show it to the world. So, I'm ready. Are you? So yeah. So, thanks all of you. VR Essentials, hi, greetings to Singapore. Andrew, Lars, great. Looking forward to see your comments in the comment section. That's everything that I got for today's video. You're going to get many more videos here from me soon on MRTV and also, of course, from Marco. So stay tuned and, well, I look forward to see you in the next episode.